Welcome to another episode of Third and Goal, and what an exciting week it was in football. So Jimmy, I gotta ask, how about them Ravens? Huh? Oh, also let me ask again, how about them Saints? Huh? Hey, hold on. Game ball ain't going to him, but hey, I think I found something that Juju dropped. Here, you want to pick it up for him? Huh? Yeah, that's right. Ravens won it big in LA, and the Steelers came up flat. So talk about it, bruh.
I wouldn't say
You know what? I'm a little bit more tame than this brother right here. Because I don't wear the mink coats. I'm not going to bring out the gummies. I'm not going to bring out, I'm just going to bring out cold, hard facts. The Ravens are number one in the North, baby. Let's go.
Are you done?
How you feeling?
Are you done?
How you feeling?
Are you done?
Look, you
Are you done?
Yeah,
are you done?
I'm gonna let you go this time.
Done?
Yeah.
Are you
good?
Done?
You gonna talk about the Saints, how they cheated? Is that what y'all gonna say? What was the reason?
We are going to get there.
Well, we are gonna get to it. I'm excited.
Get it off. Get it out your chest because y'all weren't shit about 2 months ago.
Hey, listen. A change in position, change your whole season. Here we are now, number one in the North. And I'm not going to get too hyped. I'm not going to get too hyped because we just played the Browns.
Thank you. That's what you calm your ass down a little bit.
You're way less secure than I am.
I accepted my fate.
And let me just say right now, if the Ravens lay an egg against the Browns in their own stadium, you don't deserve to make playoffs if that happens. So you better take care of business.
And if you lay an egg against the Browns and we beat the Bengals and you're out the playoffs, keep that same goddamn energy next week, Gerald. I will. Keep it next week.
I don't know. Maybe it's the New Jersey. I'm feeling myself today.
He's going to retire next year anyway.
Hey, at least he'll retire Raven, hopefully. Well, we ain't going to talk about that. That's another episode.
But in all seriousness, the Ravens these past 6-7 weeks have been on point. Can't take nothing away from them, dude. I mean, if y'all get in the playoffs, I wish y'all the best luck, for real. You know, I'm really excited to see what will happen. And if you don't make it, keep the same energy next week, buddy. That's all I got to say.
Well, let's move on to the bulk of our show. Let's start with the first topic. You know, we can go back and forth, you and me, all day and all night. We probably will have an episode where we just do that.
We will.
But let's talk about who's low-key been the most trash team this season that nobody's talked about. The Carolina Panthers.
Ass.
What's going on?
Ass. Ever since, ironically, Pittsburgh laid 50 points on them, they have not won a single game.
At all.
Cam Newton gets hurt. And they try to blame it on the scheme when his offensive line is fucking trash. Like, I mean, their defense is keeping them in games. The offense is not putting up points whatsoever, and it's kind of weird. Like, they even hung tough with the Saints, actually. They 12-10 that they lost?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you have to put up points to beat these teams. If your offense isn't producing, you're not going to win any games. It's just simple as that.
It's so weird. You have Christian McCaffrey, who's a decent running back.
Good.
You have Cam Newton, who's
he's just an MVP.
Yeah, a well-established MVP quarterback who's been to the Super Bowl. I don't get it.
I don't know what the problem is.
I don't get it.
I don't know, but I feel for him, kind of, sort of. But, you know, will it be changed this offseason? Because you don't lose 6 games in a row and just expect people to keep their jobs.
Especially when you're an organization that has won games, who's been to the dance. I mean, let's be honest here. This is unacceptable.
Yeah. Well, never know. I mean... I feel bad.
I mean,
they started off really good too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to add. I mean, you know, I look at the fact that they're still third in the division. Actually,
that shows how trash the division is.
On a 6-game,
really trash.
But you know, they actually also have the same record as the Falcons. That's the funny thing.
Wow.
The Saints are just running away with this division.
Yeah.
The other 2 teams.
Well, who's going to stop them? The Saints are literally, and you know that brings me to our next topic. The Saints are very well possibly one of the best teams, or are they just the luckiest?
I think they're lucky.
Is this a little bit of salt?
This is a little bit of salt, sprinkled with a little bit of realism. Yes, I'm pissed. I'm still fucking mad.
Dude, that was probably one of the best NFL games in terms of emotions to watch.
The roller coaster was real.
Oh my gosh!
And but bringing them back down to earth a little bit. If you look at some of the games they've won this year, the game against the Ravens, for shits and giggles, you're an extra point away from tying and going to overtime.
Yeah.
You know, Pittsburgh, one Juju fumble, and they were driving down the field.
Yeah.
That would have been another loss. And then they walk around act like they can't be beat or their defense is elite. I mean, Big Ben sliced you up with almost 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. You know, Cam Jordan comes out here and says that Big Ben isn't a top 5 quarterback in the league, which you're entitled to your opinion, but you had 2 tackles, dude. Like, you're not allowed to talk whatsoever. So I really think there's a lot of luck running on their side. I really think that somebody's going to come in and whoop their ass. They got lucky against some of the NFC teams, but you got to look at teams like Seattle's playing hot right now. Their defense is knocking them down. The Rams had a little bit of a bad streak, but they just came out and beat the hell out of somebody without Gurley, so they're not going to let you do that twice. And y'all got beat by Dallas, ironically. So don't act like you're going to just walk in the playoffs and just skate your ass to the Super Bowl. If you're one and done, like I'm predicting right here, hot take, bye week done.
Ooh. You know, and
oh, by the way, Gerald brought this up a few weeks ago. The Bears, we forgot about them too. There's a lot of teams that could beat your ass, so y'all might want to just pump the brakes a little bit.
I would love to see the Bears play the Saints. I think you have one of the best defenses against one of the better offenses. I want to see the real matchup.
I want to see a team. I want to see a bloodbath.
I think honestly that game. See, here's the thing also, and I think what would stop Chicago. I'm sold on Mitch Trubisky. I think he's a solid NFL quarterback, but I don't know what happens if it's a shootout between him and Drew Brees.
Drew Brees would outgun him.
That's what I'm saying.
But the Bears' defense will humble Drew Brees.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think they're a very talented, very young group. You know, you go out and make the trade for Khalil Mack, which is paying dividends right now. You know, you draft Roquan Smith, first-round pick. He's balling out in the middle. Eddie Jackson's an all-pro safety, just looking Ed Reed-esque and picking off stuff and returning pick sixes like it's nobody's business.
Right.
You're not going to just sit there and sleep on some of these teams out the NFC just because you're the Saints and we have home field advantage. There's a few teams that almost beat your ass in your house, so do not act like you're not beatable.
He is so mad.
I'm not mad. I'm just being honest.
Emotion. Ooh.
I don't know. I think the Saints having the home field advantage of the playoffs is huge for them because they're a dome team. I mean, this is a team that's they're just built around playing in the dome. That's how they do best. True. I mean, granted, they can win away too, obviously, look at their record. But, yeah, I think the Saints are going to be a tough nut to crack in the playoffs. But I also think there's a lot of great teams this year that are kind of on the same level as the Saints. So I'm not ready to say they're undisputed going to the Super Bowl without being challenged because they're gonna have to play their asses off.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, luckily the Saints don't have to play in a place like Chicago.
Oh, if they had to go outside, dude, Drew Brees and that team in the cold.
I don't think they would survive.
Shit.
I think it would. Again, it'd be a cold day in hell, and they would definitely lose.
Yeah.
But it's when you think about where they play the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, it's loud. It's very loud. I mean, I was watching the game, and you can hear just how loud it is. And teams, that's gonna mess around for you. So a young quarterback like Mitch Trubisky going in there, that noise.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicago, I'm sure they're loud up there, but they're not as loud as the Superdome.
Well, there's a lot. It's a dome.
It's a dome. It's a 12th player on the field virtually. You got to play the stadium.
Yeah.
So I mean that could play into their favor. But I think skill wise, if they want one and done coming off the bye week, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, I wouldn't.
A week off might stop momentum. It might heal some people, but it also could stop it.
Yeah, that's one thing for sure. A lot of people ride the momentum wave in the playoffs. Just win and keep winning. So go take your little break. And if you come back and you lose, I will take my L gracefully and sit in second place in the AFC North just to see y'all sit down. You cheating bastards.
But I think we all know how they went out of the playoffs last year, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such kind of a fluke, wasn't it not? I mean, my goodness, the final play, just kind of a blown coverage.
Yeah, like I said.
That was crazy. Probably the craziest. I still don't think they found Stephon Diggs' helmet after he threw it. That thing was lost in the atmosphere.
It put a hole in the dome.
Oh, my gosh.
A hole in the dome. So we'll definitely see.
Let's talk about who's got momentum here.
Oh man, if this team makes the playoffs,
it would be an amazing Cinderella story. Let's talk about the Eagles. Is St. Nick in Philly gonna have a two-peat? What's gonna happen in Philly?
They have some obstacles to overcome to make the playoffs, but if they get in the playoffs, they're just as dangerous as any team in the NFC.
I mean,
Nick Foles is just balling out of control right now, especially last week was insane. And to me, oddly enough, Carson Wentz is a great quarterback, but Foles in that system is just incredible.
Foles in that system, it's like it's almost like I make the comparison, and I'm not saying one's better than the other, but you think of like a player like Tom Brady in his early years.
Yep.
If he was on any other team running another system, how would he have played? With Nick Foles, it's interesting because you have, again, a Super Bowl MVP riding the bench.
No, he's hurt. He wouldn't be riding the bench. He was hurt.
Well, I'm saying I'm talking about Nick Foles on the bench.
Oh,
for
yeah. Right.
So here's my thing. Here's my only thing. What happens at the end of the season? Carson Wentz gets healthy. Do you get rid of Nick Foles? Do you keep him? Do you keep both of them?
Well, the issue is Nick Foles has a $20 million option at the end of this year. So you're not going to pay $20 million to a backup. You're not going to extend the backup. He's going to get paid. Wherever he goes, he's going to get paid again.
But is it going to be another, Case Keenum situation where here's another team he's on where he was good in Minnesota. He did great.
Right.
Got him to the playoffs.
Right.
But now he's in Denver where they're having one of the best records they've ever had. Is that going to happen to Nick Foles? And then when you really think about it, you think about teams that are going to be shopping out quarterbacks. For example, the Ravens and Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to create a very interesting offseason with a lot of quarterbacks that I think some teams are going to be offloading this year.
Yeah, and Foles and Flacco would be probably 1 and 2.
Top 2,
because arm talent, the size, they're both 6'5", 6'6"-ish.
He's massive.
You want a quarterback with that body structure, and they both have playoff history, playoff wins. They're experienced veterans in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about the last week or a couple weeks ago, teams like Jacksonville that may need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Miami, I saw today they're shopping Ryan Tannehill. He may not be back next year. There's teams out here that are going to want a stopgap quarterback in order to groom a rookie or somebody younger to come and take over. So Nick Foles is prime position, and he's proven right now he can play with the best of them. But if he does get in the playoffs, again, like I talking about the Saints thing, they're going to waltz their ass through here. A lot of teams are going to be on notice because they're just coming off a Super Bowl win.
Yeah.
So the whole team has a Super Bowl and playoff experience. Yeah. So
the whole team, they did not get rid of a lot of people.
If they got to ride Foles and he gets them in here, they're, like I said, they're just as dangerous as anybody else right now.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen with that.
So a couple points here. First of all, going back to what you're saying about Nick Foles, how would he be on another team? Well, I can tell you that because he was on the Rams for a year.
That is
true.
I forgot about that. I definitely forgot about that.
It did not go very well.
Did.
But
it did.
He's been amazing ever when he plays on the Eagles. We know that much. Now, how are the Eagles going to do going forward? I got to say, they're getting hot at the right time of the year. And if they get in, like you were saying, I mean, they're until knocked out, they're the world champs.
Yep.
So until they're knocked off their block and out of the playoffs, that's how it is.
Well,
so they're still a threat.
Do you think there is a chance for a 2-peat?
Do I? I mean, it's one of the rules. It's any given Sunday. Mm-hmm. Could it happen? Possibly. But my thing is, again, it comes down to the fact that a lot of teams, like you said, they're going to be on notice. They're not going to take them. They're not going to take them lightly. Right. And you would think a team that's kind of bounced back had a pretty rough start.
It was an up and down year for them.
You just never know. I mean, let's be honest here. The Cowboys, they've clinched the division. Mm-hmm. As irrelevant as they are. Sorry, Chris. Anyways. But, I mean, the Eagles are definitely a contender. And honestly, I'd be rooting for them. If they made it back after everything, I'd be rooting for them.
If they get to the Super Bowl, I want to see a repeat that isn't Tom Brady. That's what I want to see.
As long as Tom Brady's not in it.
He's going to make his way back to the damn AFC Championship. He always does.
I don't think so. Well, I mean, again, that's another episode.
Yeah, that's for a future date, but I'm just talking because look at the history. It's AFC Championship. It's always somebody different, whether it's Pittsburgh, the Ravens, the Colts. Just go down the list. It's always somebody different that has to take their ass to New England to face Tom Brady to go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, it is always the NFC that seems to be less predictable.
Yes, NFC is always a fucking stew of instability when it comes to it. So,
We'll see. So speaking of our boy Saint Nick, how fitting of Christmas week. We got Nick Foles, who I'm going to give the LitTube game ball. 35 for 49, 471 yards through the air, and 4 touchdowns. The boy went off even with an interception. I don't care. He went off. Here's the game ball. Good job, Nick. You breathed life back into the Eagles.
Absolutely, bro.
I mean,
we're rooting for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I'm rooting for the Eagles. If it's the Eagles versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl, I'll be happy. I ain't got to flip a coin, but
I will flip a coin.
It's going to be great if that happens.
Only because I'm salty, I'll flip a coin.
Hey, party at my house if the Ravens are in the Super Bowl. Hey, you can be there for all this.
I'm going to go high.
Anyways, that does it for our episode of Third and Goal. Don't forget to like and subscribe whether you're watching on thisislitTube.com or YouTube. Don't forget to stay tuned for more. We got new episodes of Charm City Beat. We're going to be showing who won our first ever Lit Sports Online Fantasy, our second ever Lit Sports Online Fantasy Football League. And we also have an episode covering some UFC fights coming up. So, again, stay tuned, like and subscribe, and take care. Merry Christmas.